As I began to learn about Kingswood in this suburb of Chicago, I learned that there were some people at First United Methodist Church of Arlington Heights which just celebrated their 175th birthday, a suburb of Chicago, one of our oldest suburban churches, who said, this area is booming and we're not there, in Wheeling and Buffalo Grove. And so they, along with the conference and the then strategy team of the district, it was called something different, they decided to plant this church in Buffalo Grove. And so they did, and the church exploded. And you know, today is one of our more healthy kind of suburban churches. But the point is, what I learned later is, there was already a church in the area. Prairie View United Methodist Church was just to the north. It had been there for almost 100 years. It was a circuit point. And the point was, that church was never able to reach the growth. It was a great church. It did good ministry, but it could never connect with the community. Arlington Heights First knew that, and they planted this church 2 miles from Prairie View. Prairie View continued its ministry, eventually merging into Kingswood, and Kingswood continued to grow and do its ministry. I tell that story because it really threw me off, because it helped me to remind myself that sometimes where we think we are doesn't mean that these folks are not good folks. They're great folks, but maybe we're missing an opportunity because this church's DNA cannot shift. Anybody know that story? Sometimes it'd be a loud amen. Amen? And it doesn't mean these folks are bad folks. It doesn't mean Prairie View was a rural church and it could not make the shift. So it continued its ministry till its life was finished, and God had done what God had done with Prairie View. And then, thank God for the people at First Arlington Heights who had the opportunity and the vision to plant Kingswood. And as I said, I had this vision of satellite dreaming. When you're at Kingswood Church, you can drive all the way to Libertyville and all the way to Grays Lake, and there's no UMC. 12 miles of UMC wilderness, right? Okay? And I have members all through there. What do you think we're talking about in our new vision process? 2 satellites, no building. We have a $970,000 mortgage. Wish it were an endowment. And, but we're talking about 2 satellites in the northern suburbs north of us to reach people that will never drive to Dundee and Buffalo Grove Road, but who could benefit from the ministry and experience we have at Kingswood Church.